Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the Monday episode of the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show. It's so wonderful to have you with us. I hope your work week is off to a good start, and there is always a carrot at the end of that work week. And in this case, it is Super Bowl Sunday that we're working towards. Chiefs, 49ers, we're one day closer. I hope you guys are so excited for Super Bowl week, because if you're not, man, you got a long wait for good football ahead, a few months ahead. That said, today's action, college basketball, NBA, and yes, the NHL has returned tonight. Only 2 games, but the All-Star break is over. Second half begins. We have a lot to get into here on the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show. I hope you guys are having a great day. I am so grateful that you have made time to join us for our show today. We are going to be giving out picks every 2,000 likes. How about this, actually? Every time we hit 1,000 like benchmark or an odd benchmark, we'll give out a player prop bet. At even likes, even 1,000 likes, we will give out a game pick. So 1,000 likes, player prop bet, 2,000 likes, game pick. How about that? By the way, this is a call out to all of those other dudes out there, those phonies you see on social media. I just went on TikTok to get myself ready for the show, and I saw about 5 different channels that were doing what we're doing, but they're charging for picks. What a bunch of losers. You can't give out picks to your audience. You can't help people win money for free. You really have to tax them to try to get your picks out. Frankly, they can do that. More power to them. But you know, I'll call them a bunch of losers. Go get a life, guys. I'm here to help you guys out. Butt Fumble Sports is here for this audience. We give out our picks for free, whether it's on the show or on the SHARPZ app. I hope anyone who's buying picks from other people are being very cautious. The reason I don't sell my picks is I want you guys to have winners, and frankly, I think it's ridiculous that some of these phonies who have only spent, 2 minutes in sports betting are trying to sell you something. So I do call out all of those bullshit phonies out there, and I say if you're watching Butt Fumble Sports, you've come to the right place. I worked in sports media. I've worked in sports betting and fantasy football with ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports. I was a producer for Jim Rome, and I do my research every single day to give you guys the best informed advice possible. It's up to you to take it or leave it, but I'm not asking you guys to sign up for we have 30 spots, 20 spots. Frankly, I'm disgusted by what I just saw, and I had to call it out. Great to have you guys with us. Appreciate you guys bearing through that rant. As you can see, we already have the Outlier app up, ready to answer your questions. Of course, like I said, we'll be giving out picks. 1,000 likes, we'll give out our first player prop. 2,000 likes, our first game pick, for free. You don't have to sign up for some stupid thing and pay me money. What a ridiculous thing. Diego, do you have any trade deadline predictions? I have one trade deadline prediction, and that is that the Boston Celtics are going to upgrade at the big man position. I'm hearing Drummond. I'm hearing Kelly Olynyk. Given Kelly Olynyk's history with Boston and Brad Stevens, that would not surprise me at all. I don't think the Lakers are going to do anything. I think the Lakers are actually going to make a lot of noise, but in the end, they won't actually pull off a trade that appeases LeBron James. They just don't have the assets, I believe, to make that kind of move. Don't be surprised if the Knicks continue to be active, and the Heat as well. I know they've already done something. One more for you. Dallas Mavericks need some help inside, so I would expect that as well. If you guys want to rant about what's going on in the sports world, all about that as well. Very happy to do that. If you want to join the show as a guest, feel free to come on. All about it. Dante on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. All these people on social media who are trying to tell you about sports betting, who have actually no history of being in the industry, and worse, they're charging you for it. Like, what the hell? I just saw that, and my stomach literally just turned. Like, I saw this dude, like, Sharper. I saw a couple others, so I don't just want to make it about him. But he's like, I have 25 spots of 30 spots left. You have to pay me money for my picks. And I was just like, wow, scam city. Like, are you going to make the ace of spades jump out of my front pocket too? Like, get out of here with that. Butt Fumble Sports. I love talking sports every day. I hope you do as well as a follower of the channel. I'm just here to talk sports, sports betting, and fantasy sports. And guess what? I don't charge you 1 cent because I know you're a hardworking person. You're trying to earn your money. You're trying to have a little fun with sports betting or fantasy sports. I'm not trying to pick your pocket in the process. That is a promise. I will never do that to you. John, do you like KC for the Super Bowl? Here's my concern, John. Everybody likes KC for the Super Bowl. I've even put up a couple of those popular bets out there on Instagram, something like 75-80% of all the tickets being bet right now are on the Chiefs. That has me sweating like a Key and Peele sketch. I am so nervous about that right now because, frankly, when the public is so heavily on one side, it always feels like that's a trap. Right now, if I were to go in any direction, I would take the Chiefs plus 4.5 on the spread, and I would take the 49ers on the money line. You guys know I've been very consistent on that. I'm also recommending the under 50.5. I feel like these two offenses are getting overhyped and the defenses are being downplayed. I feel like this is going to be more of a defensive battle than a lot of people think. So under 50.5 is a total, and I'm taking Chiefs on the 4.5 spread, 49ers on the money line for now. Christian Vasquez, do we do fantasy basketball? Check. Yes, we do. Do we do fantasy baseball? Check. Yes, we do. In fact, we're going to be putting together some fantasy baseball leagues in the next couple of weeks. Pitchers and catchers report this Friday. If you're a baseball fan, that'll give you chills. That'll get you excited. In fact, for a lot of teams, the last couple of days, including today, has been what's called Truck Day. That's where all the teams load up all of their equipment, their jerseys, everything, and ship it down to either Florida or Arizona. I know football season's coming to an end, but baseball season is on deck, and we are excited about it. Cruel finisher, Jazz hit yesterday. I was sweating that one a little bit as well. I told you guys I really like the Jazz on the money line against the Bucks. Again, the Bucks are now 0-4 underdog on the road. That's important to note. But that said, the Jazz had one of the best fourth quarters of the year. So cruel finisher. Hope you're following us now on Twitch, and that way you never miss a show. CKD Warrior. I told you about the Lakers winning against the Knicks. You did, CKD Warrior. I should listen to you next time. Mr. Tao, can't wait for baseball props. First of all, I actually think baseball is my best sport to bet. Frankly, it's because the matchups are always based on trends, data, and history. I love looking at which hitters have a great history against a starting pitcher. You can usually get a good over half a hit, something like that. So I could not be more excited, not just about the start of the baseball season, because baseball is a wonderful sport. It's a great time of year, springtime, but also love the player prop bets that come out of it. It's my username, went 0-10 yesterday. It's my username. Did you miss our show? Because we crushed it yesterday. College basketball, we literally had one of our best days ever. NBA, we crushed it, only one loss, and that was literally by half a point. The only miss we had yesterday on NBA game picks is I had the Detroit Pistons plus 11.5. They lost by 12. Other than that, swish, swish, swish. Hope you follow us now. Dante, can't wait to talk some baseball with you. Christian Osick, it's going to be like your fantasy football league where we message you on Instagram. Exactly, Christian. We're going to set it up. Don't do it just yet, but in the next 2-3 weeks, we will be doing that. I'm hoping to do some brackets with you guys, some bracket challenges for March Madness. I would hope you guys would be excited about that. Let's get back to CKD Warrior on TikTok. Do you think with Cliff Kingsbury going to Washington that Washington drafts Caleb Williams? I don't. I think that's being a bit overhyped, and it's all because I don't think the Bears are going to give up Caleb Williams or give up that number 1 pick. I believe that the Bears now are giving you all the indications that they're moving on from Justin Fields, that they're targeting Caleb Williams. And the reason I say that is if there was ever a time to hype the fact that maybe that number 1 pick would be available, now would be kind of a good spot to do it. They're not doing that, though. They're kind of letting you know that Justin Fields is on the market. So my expectation is that the Bears will draft Caleb Williams. Justin Fields will get traded. To me, Atlanta makes a lot of sense, so I could really see that. I don't see Denver. Some people were trying to tell me Denver was in the running. Not as big a believer in that, but I do believe Caleb Williams will be a Bear. And right now, if I had to make a prediction, I'll say Jaden Daniels is going to be the quarterback for the Washington Commanders. Cliff Kingsbury's history with mobile quarterbacks feels like Jaden Daniels more fits the mold of the kind of quarterback he likes as opposed to a Drake May, even though Drake May is a big armed quarterback. El Pinche. After doing some research on Outlier, I like Trae Young under 36.5 points and rebounds. El Pinche, I love it. First of all, I love that you used Outlier, but second, I agree with you. I'm not expecting a big game from Trae Young. Kyle Klein, I thought the same thing the other day. Butt Fumble Sports, baseball is a must-watch TV. I think so. Baseball is our best sport. We've done pretty well on football and basketball, but the baseball season, just great historical trends to work off of. when a hitter has like a 600 average against a certain pitcher, you feel pretty good about him and his 3 at-bats against that starting pitcher that day. User 1009, we have hit 1,000 likes. We're about to hit 2,000 likes, so I owe you guys 2 picks. We're going to give out a player prop bet every time we hit odds. So every time we hit 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, you guys get how odd numbers work. When we hit an odd number for thousands, we'll give out a player prop bet. When we hit an even number, we'll give out a game pick. We owe you guys one of each right now, so let's get to work. I'll start with a player prop bet. In fact, I'll stay with the same game. Nick Claxton, you did me right yesterday. Oh, let's get down here. Nick Claxton did me right yesterday with his over on points. I'm going there again. Nick Claxton over 9.5 points. That's going to be the first player prop bet that we are giving out today. Second game pick. This is our first game pick, but the second pick overall. I am taking the Nets on the money line, guys. Taking the Nets on the money line in today's action. Christian Vasquez, thoughts on Draymond Green under 6.5 assists. I do like the under 6.5 assists. 6.5 would be a very bold play for us. CKD Warrior. So another question, with the Raiders hiring Luke Getsy, does Justin Fields get traded to the Raiders? Ooh, I love that one, CKD. I'd love to see Justin Fields with the Raiders. First of all, I think he'd be electric with that team. I think he'd bring them a whole new identity and a whole new offensive approach. Do I think he's going to go there? Probably not. I don't know if the Raiders have enough assets, enough draft capital to trade. And even worse, I actually think the Raiders don't want to give up too much draft capital because they need more than a quarterback. They really need to continue to build out that entire roster. So do I think Justin Fields would be a good fit? Yes. Do I think it ends up occurring? I don't. For you Raider fans out there, I hope I'm wrong because he would be a perfect fit in Las Vegas. Trey got discounted to 22.5 points on Prize Picks. Should we take the over? Like I said, I'm not very big on Trae Young today, but let's go to Outlier and look this up. Again, we help you guys out with research. We try to give out picks throughout the show. And of course, we don't charge for them like a bunch of these phonies that I see out there on social media. Those guys are disgusting. That said, the Clippers, 14th best defense in the NBA at points allowed to point guards. He has gone over 26.5 in 4 of his last 5 games. Overall, 9 of his last 10. The 22.5 kind of has me nervous. I really don't like that spot. It's been very consistent, but it feels like a trap, especially since it's being discounted. I wouldn't take that. I also don't have Prize Picks, so maybe that's one of the reasons I'm not thinking about it. But it feels like Prize Picks offers a lot of the discounts on things that they know aren't going to cash. So I'm always wary if someone tells me that Prize Picks has a discounted offer. I'm always like, yeah, they're still going to take your money. They're still going to find a way. If sportsbooks were just giving away money, I assure you they would find even better ways of doing so. I feel like that's a bit of a trap. When we hit 3,000 likes, another player prop bet coming your way. Jorge, super early, but breakout player of the year for MLB. Cough, cough, not named Otani. Oh, Otani's not going to be the breakout player this year. Who's going to be a breakout player this year? That's a great question. Breakout player is tough because I feel like the names I would give out. Breakout player. That's a great question. I think this is one I'm literally pulling out of my butt fumble right now. Kelenic, Jared Kelenic, who got traded from the Mariners to the Atlanta Braves. I just think he was a highly touted prospect. Didn't quite blossom in Seattle like a lot of people thought he would. And I think Atlanta is kind of buying low on him. And I think he has an opportunity to step into that offense and do well. So do I think he's a breakout player? Tricky to say, but I think he's going to have moments where we talk about him kind of reaching the level of potential that we thought he would. Overall, when it comes to breakout players, just look for any prospect on the Baltimore Orioles. Look out for that team. I also think Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero Jr. are going to have phenomenal years. Can't call them breakouts. They're already stars in this league. So, not sure about breakout players. I'm going to have to reevaluate that question. Good question, though. Christian Vasquez, breakout player, going to be... Oh, interesting. Okay, Christian. Kind of like it. Kyle Klein's asking about Austin Reeves, 16.5 points. Let's go look at Austin Reeves. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you're new to Butt Fumble Sports, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. We are live every single day across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. as we look at Austin Reeves, shooting guard for the Lakers. Again, a defense that actually plays shooting guards pretty well, 14th in the league. Austin Reeves has been hot of late, but this has not been a good trend over the last 20 games. Head-to-head, this has actually missed in the last 2. I said this to you guys yesterday. Sometimes I'll put something up on my big board that you guys ask about, and I put an asterisk next to it. You know, those picks did poorly yesterday, and it just reminds me, when I do my research, I find good bets. When I tend to chase them because you guys bring it up, doesn't always go well, so I will say no to the Austin Reeves bet. I wouldn't take it. Cruel Finisher is asking about the Clippers. Before we get to the Clippers, I owe you a player prop bet. We've hit 3,000 likes. I owe you guys another player prop bet. Every time we hit an odd number on the player prop bets, I'm going to give out a pick. Next pick that I'm going to give out is going to be LeBron James. Speaking of Lakers, LeBron James, I'm going to take LeBron over 22.5 points tonight. LeBron James over 22.5 points. That's the next one I'm giving out. I'll give out an NBA game pick when we hit 4,000 likes, everybody. 4,000 likes for the next NBA game pick. And if you notice, we give out our picks for free, one by one throughout the show. If you don't want to wait, if you want all of my picks right now, you can still get them for free. Because I don't charge like a bunch of these bozos out there on social media who are doing live shows but charging you money for it. I think that's ludicrous. If you want all of my picks for free, just DM me on Instagram. I put them on the SHARPZ app. They're never behind a paywall. They're always for free. You can see them. Whether you want to follow them or fade them, that's up to you. I'll never promise that they're all locks. I don't do that. But I do my research every single day to find the best trend-based picks every day. If you want to see them, just DM me on Instagram, absolutely for free. Kyle Klein, I didn't say fade, I didn't say take. What I said about Reeves is I don't like it. There's nothing about it that excites me about it. I actually think this is one of the things I really want to cover first before I get any farther. Sometimes you guys ask about a bet and I don't like it. I don't like one side and I don't like the other side. I just don't have a good feel either way. So when I say I don't like something, it's not that I'm saying fade it always. I'll let you know if I'm fading a bet. What I'm really saying is there's nothing to give me a good indication whether to go left or right, whether to go up or down, whether to take the bet or not. So what I'm really saying is don't throw your money on something if you don't have a good idea about it. There are so many bets available in sports betting right now. Why would you ever take a bet unless you had really good confidence in it? I don't understand that. Don't chase betting. Don't throw money down just because something's been hot. Make sure you have legitimate reason to take it today. If there aren't enough pieces of evidence to advise you to take a bet today, don't throw your money on it. It's just not worth it. Save it for another bet. In fact, I saw this story on CBS on 60 Minutes. There are a lot of stories because of the Las Vegas Super Bowl about how sports betting is corrupting America. You know what? We have so many ways in which we bet in this country. We have stock markets. We have a lot of different ways that we throw our money around. And the one thing I would say is addiction is a problem. Chasing things is separate. Don't chase bets. If you have a problem, go seek help. But if you don't have a problem and you're just chasing bets, that's a different story. Be very careful about what bets you do chase. Jorge, Trey does have a bad matchup today. That's right. User 1009. What's the play? We hit 4,000 likes. Boy, I know. I got to get to work, guys. I can't be slacking. Okay, the next game pick we're giving out, another NBA game pick. I'm going to take the Clippers on the money line. Clippers money line has been scorching hot. We're going to stick with that. They are 25-5 over their last 30 games. And right now, if I had a vote, which I don't obviously, if I had a vote for NBA Coach of the Year, I'd give it to Ty Lue. If I told you when they signed James Harden that he was going to ultimately be successful with the Clippers, I think a lot of people would have said, hell no. The Clippers are going to be a mess. He's going to be a cancer in the locker room. They're not going to know how to share the basketball between him, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook. None of that has been a problem. Ty Lue has this team operating as well as any team in the NBA. I'd argue the Clippers are the best team in the NBA right now. A lot of credit should go to Ty Lue, especially because he, much like Eric Spoelstra during the LeBron years, I don't think he got the credit he deserved for bringing championships to teams that he was a head coach of because LeBron was there and LeBron's the best player in the world. LeBron's a coach on the floor. Ty Lue is a phenomenal coach. I hope he gets his flowers now, given what he's doing with the Clippers. Arctic Tiger playing overs on Murray over rebounds and assists. Cam Thomas over points. Okay, Arctic Tiger, I gotcha. I'm not going to look at it because I don't want to do 3 bets at once. So if you want me to check one, I'll check one, but I'm not going to do a bunch of them. Carter Newman is asking about Donovan Mitchell. That's an easy one for us to look at. Let's take a look at Donovan Mitchell and his point totals. I actually took Donovan Mitchell in some of our rival fantasy challenges today. I love his matchup today. Not just on points, but assists as well. He's got a good matchup. As I mentioned, the Sacramento Kings are 24th in the NBA in points allowed to shooting guards. Donovan Mitchell, if we look at how he's done in home games, he's been doing well of late. He has gone over 28 points in 4 of his last 5. Right now, the point total is set at 29.5. You guys know, I usually don't like where original lines are set. The sportsbooks want to take our money. They are setting up traps to try to get you to fall into them. So I always like to buy points. I like to shift the odds just so I can get a bit of an advantage on the sportsbooks, maybe get a bit of an edge. If I had to take it anywhere right now, I take it at 26.5. I think that's actually a very good spot. He's hit that in 5 straight games at home. Overall, he's hit that in 4 of his last 5 games, regardless of the location. When it comes to head-to-head matchups, he hit it 1 out of the last 2 against the Sacramento Kings. The one time he hit it was in Sacramento. They haven't played in Cleveland in a little bit. So that said, I like Donovan Mitchell over 26.5 points. That would be a spot to take it. If you could get it at 24.5, I'd love that. Obviously, a lot of you guys are going to go minus 290. I don't like it. Well, then put it into a same-game parlay. I like the Cavaliers on the money line. So actually, I'm going to put this one up on my big board. I took earlier in the day Donovan Mitchell over 24.5 points. I put it into a same-game parlay. I'll give this one out here as well with Cavaliers on the money line. Cavaliers on the money line and Donovan Mitchell over 24.5 points. That was the same game parlay that I took. Feeling good about that one. Anthony, do you think the Cavs and Mavs are solid today? Check and check. I like them both. In fact, I'll give it out even though we haven't hit another like button, but I'm going to give out Mavericks on the money line as well. Kyrie Irving is back. They're playing obviously a 76ers team that frankly is just not the same. I don't know what I'm necessarily going to get from the 76ers tonight with Tyrese Maxey and no Joel Embiid, but for the moment, I like the Mavericks on the money line. Feel very good about that one. Let's take a quick look at how the public money is betting that game, just so you guys are aware. The Dallas Mavericks are a 3.5-point favorite. The money line, both percentage of bets and the percentage of money bet, both heavily favor the Mavericks. I do like that. One thing to note, though, the spread, the bets, the total tickets, go in favor of the Mavericks by 59%. However, the money is coming down on the 76ers. So, as we often talk about, when those two pieces of data go in conflicting directions, usually like to follow the money. So if you were to go in any direction, Mavericks on the money line, but you might want to take the 76ers to cover. Really a question of injuries tonight. Tobias Harris is questionable with an illness. That might be the only reason I would stay off the spread entirely. If you did want to take a spread play on this, taking the 76ers at +7, +6.5, I feel like that could be a good play as well. El Pinche, sometimes the lawn needs to be cut. Oh, thanks, Retro Dad. Haven't seen you in a minute. Tip of the crown or tip of the Knight's helmet to you. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Great to see a familiar face or a familiar handle in the chat. El Pinche, sometimes the lawn needs to be cut. I have Jalen Johnson under 19.5 points and assists. El Pinche, I actually think that's a pretty good play. I was looking at Jalen Johnson props earlier today because I was like, man, that dude is wicked hot right now. Yeah, you hear the New England coming out in me. He has been scorching hot, and I was like, man, that trend's been so good. Do I still want to ride it? And the answer is no, because against the small forward position, the Clippers have been pretty good, actually. Points and assists. 14th in points allowed, 6th in assists allowed. So I actually do like the under in this one. I know, like you said, it has been a lawn. It has cashed in 7 of his last 8 games. But I tend to like the under in this one. If you guys want to follow along, feel free, fire away with it. But I do like the under a little bit. I know it's been a hot trend, but like I said, I do like the under. I like the idea, El Pinche. Hope you guys are having... I want to check one thing, actually. Clint Capella is out. How is he done with Clint Capella not in the lineup? Oh, poorly. He's done really poorly without Clint Capella in the lineup. This is a good one. El Pinche, I hope you're looking on your screen right now. Look at this. Over 19.5 points and assists. Jalen Johnson has only hit this one time in his last 18 games where Clint Capella has not been playing. Clint Capella not playing tonight for the Atlanta Hawks. I think this is a good bet to take on the under. Again, under 19.5 on points and assists for Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks. Really good find, El Pinche. Well done. Christian Vasquez is asking about LeBron James 3-pointers made. Let's go take a look at that. LeBron's got a phenomenal matchup tonight. If LeBron is healthy enough to go, there are a number of points, a number of bets that I actually really like with LeBron James. I mentioned on points a little bit earlier. I took it at over 22.5. Really like that spot. I also took points and assists because the Charlotte Hornets are just terrible against the small forward position. They're 30th in points allowed. They're 30th in assists allowed. This is one of the worst defenses in the NBA against the small forward position. LeBron should have a field day. So, in fact, when we hit 6,000 likes, I'll give out another LeBron pick. But we're going to look at 3-pointers made. That was your question. Boy, talk about a lawn. He has cashed 8 straight games. He's had at least 2 3-pointers. No reason for me to think otherwise. Charlotte is 27th at allowing 3-pointers to small forwards. I like that play as well. So, another call out to one of our viewers, our loyal viewers, Christian Vasquez. Great job. Love the play. Love the pick. By the way, I forgot to turn on my lights overhead, and clearly it is making a difference. It is getting dark here fast here at Butt Fumble Sports. The darkness is overwhelming. Josh, if I had to go in one direction, again, I bought it down. I bought it down to 22.5. I don't love the 24.5. I like the 22 a lot. If I had to go in one direction, gun to head, I'd take the over 24.5. But really, I think I'd take 22.5 on points, over 22.5 on points. You could also put it into a same game parlay. Lakers money line, LeBron over the 22.5 points. You could even take it at a better spot. So I think, Josh, that's a good play. User 1009, bro, Brooklyn money line. How confident are you? It's on my big board. I don't give out picks unless I feel good about them. I don't give out picks unless I've done research and I have a reason to give it out. So if it's on my big board, I have reason to have confidence in it. Is it my SHARPZ play of the day? My highest level of confidence? No. But that said, I do like Brooklyn on the money line today. Is Mavs, Lakers, Clippers, Cavs solid? Anthony, I think it is. Now again, today is much like yesterday. There are a lot of money line favorites that maybe some of you guys are cautious to take, but actually the trends all back the money line favorites. So when that happens, I kind of got to follow it. You guys know me. I follow trends, data, and analytics. I don't shoot from the hip. I don't do things without having a reason behind them. If the trends are pointing me in a direction, I tend to follow Michael Scott following GPS style right into the lake. Josh, CJ McCollum over 19.5 points. You'll be happy to know about this as well. I did take CJ McCollum over on points, just not the point where you took it. As always, I tend to buy points. 19.5 is a little bit too rich for my blood. Just don't love the spot. As you can see from the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, it hasn't been a great trend at over 19.5. Now, the matchup today really favors him. The Raptors are 25th in the NBA in points allowed to shooting guards, so it's a good matchup for him. But over the last 20 games, he's only gone over 19.5 points 8 times. 8 times in his last 20 games, that's not a good look. 8 times in his last 20 home games, that's not a good look. So I wanted to shift the odds down. I took this at like 15.5. You could take it at 16.5. That's a minus 215. I would take that and again fold it into some parlays. One thing I will say to you guys is I tend to take easier bets to cash and I'll put them into a 2-leg parlay, a 3-leg parlay, and I tend to feel really good about that. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are hitting that follow button. Jorge, Steph Curry does shoot from the hip, or used to. Josh, D'Angelo Russell over 17.5 points. Josh is doing a good job with his research today. Got to call out. A bunch of you guys are doing a really good job putting in your research. Got to applaud you. I'm seeing D'Angelo Russell at 17.5 just like you are. This has been a very good trend prior to the previous 3 games. Charlotte against point guards, not a great look though. That's my only concern. D'Angelo Russell, not a great matchup for him. I know it's been a very good trend, but frankly, I'm going to avoid this one. Just not attractive enough. Now, what I would say is there's something on assists? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not seeing it, though. D'Angelo Russell, just not attractive enough when it comes to points for him in that matchup. If you guys give me one moment, I'm going to be right back. I actually just need to put on some lights right now, so I'll be right back, okay, everybody? And in the 26th minute, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light as Butt Fumble Sports finally puts on some lights so we can get ourselves and our situation a little bit better. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. No matter the platform you're watching on, Butt Fumble Sports is here for you. We're here to give out advice, give out picks, hopefully give you guys a lot of good information to inform you as to the best bets of the day and how you should be playing them. If you're new to Butt Fumble Sports, make sure you hit that follow button, make sure you're subscribing, and make sure you join us every single day because we do not miss a day. We try to be here every single day for you guys. So hit that follow button when you can, and that way you never miss a show. 5 p.m. every Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. on the weekends. Do we have any NHL picks? Yes, we do, but before I give those out, I want to jump on over to Outlier, and I want to show you how the public is betting these NHL games. 2 NHL games today. Islanders, Maple Leafs, Avalanche, and Rangers. Islanders, Maple Leafs. Not only are the Maple Leafs a heavy money line favorite, they're also getting 95% of the money on the spread. I did take the Maple Leafs. Forgive me. I did take the Maple Leafs on the money line, everybody. Maple Leafs on the money line. By the way, are you guys looking for other ways to cash in on all the research you're doing today? Check out Rival Fantasy. Rival Fantasy, it's up on the screen right now. They give out the Rival Fantasy challenges every day. You're picking between 2 players. Who's going to score more fantasy points? Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. Let's go Luka. We put a buck down on it. It's that simple. So if you guys are looking for ways to take advantage of the research that you do or that I give out every single day and put some more money in your pocket, another way you can do it. If you guys want to get in on that action, just DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. I give out all of my links. I hooked you guys up with all of these referral codes for other companies so you guys can get a good discount on all of that. Make sure you guys check out Rival Fantasy today. Dante, what's your best pick for Avalanche and Rangers? I think I took the over in that game. I don't even remember. Oh, that was early in the morning today. Avalanche, Rangers, I think, yeah, I took the over. I took it at like 5.5, but frankly, that game doesn't excite me. I'm actually not really excited about these NHL games. There's only 2, and I really don't know how teams are going to respond post-All-Star break. I'm always wary of the day after an All-Star break ends, because the guys who are the stars, they didn't get the vacation everyone else did, so they might be a little bit tired. Coaches may pull back on them a little bit, fewer shifts, less ice time. I'm always wary of that. Every time. I don't care what the sport is. If there is an in-season all-star game break, I'm always cautious in that first game back, especially when it's in like the first day back. Games tomorrow, games on Wednesday, there's been some time between the all-star break for guys to recover. But today, for example, the Maple Leafs, they had a lot of guys at the all-star game. Is Austin Matthews going to come off of that all-star break where he was working, he was getting the MVP for the all-star game? Is he well rested, or is he going to get a few breaks? So a little bit cautious about that. Just something to be wary of. How do you feel about Okongwu? I don't even know who that is. I got to admit, there's sometimes you guys say a name of a player, and I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Anye Okongwu. Okay. Let's take a look on his. Let's take a look on his rebounds. You guys already know. If I can't pronounce his name, I'm not going to bet it. So I'll just say that. If I don't know who it is, I'm not going to bet it. Now, in implied probability, the over is a much better play. Over a really good play against centers. By the way, I don't know where you're getting your research from, but actually the Clippers are really good at rebounding against centers. They're 3rd in the league. So I don't know where you're getting your research from, but if you go over to Outlier, you'll see how many rebounds the Clippers give up to each position. Centers, they're the 3rd best defense in the league at getting rebounds against centers. So I don't know where you get your research from, but my research website and app is way better than what you're using. So I just be wary. Dante, you know what I'm talking about. You got to be really careful. You come back from an all-star break, coaches change the tendencies that they've had all first half because they're trying to protect their stars. So be very, very careful. Let's get back to some of these questions over on TikTok. Jorge, fantasy baseball and rival fantasy, love them because of you. Looking forward to doing some fantasy baseball with you, Jorge. Frankly, I hope you guys know I love talking to you guys every day. I really do think we built a great community of sports fans, just a good friend group where we're all just talking sports betting, and fantasy sports every day. Maybe that's one of the reasons I don't want to steal money from you. I don't want to charge you for every one of my bets because it would be kind of shady and kind of make me feel bad. It's like you can't build a real rapport with your audience and with these people that you're trying to build a relationship with if you're just trying to pick their pocket for every 5 or 10er that they've got in there. So again, a lot of people on social media give out sports betting advice, are telling you you can buy their bets. If you want to do that, go for it. But I'm not going to charge you for my bets, and I certainly want you guys to know, when you come to Butt Fumble Sports, you're coming to a friend. You're coming to someone who is looking out for your best interest, who wants you guys to make money, wants to protect you from spending your money recklessly. Yeah, there are a couple of companies that sponsor our show. None of them have a paywall except Outlier, and the only reason Outlier has a paywall is it really is worth it. It's that amount of research that you just got to pay for that amount of research. But I can give you a free 7-day trial if you want that. But will I ever charge you for my picks? I promise you, Butt Fumble Sports will never charge you for a pick because that would be a disservice to you. You guys take time out of your day to watch our show, try to get a bit of information so you can have fun watching sports tonight. I never, ever, ever want to take advantage of you or not show you the respect because your time, that's valuable enough. I'm grateful for the support. All those other people on social media, they're trying to steal your wallet. I'm not. I'm just trying to be your friend. I mean that too. 8,000, what's the pick? User 1009 is quickly becoming one of my favorite viewers because he keeps me up and honest about the picks I give out and where I need to be giving out more. Let's get back. We're going to give out, how about this? We're going to give out 2 picks right now. Game pick, player prop bet. You ready? Next game pick we're going to give out, we are going to college. Let's go to college, everybody. And big college game today. We have 2 actually that I really like. I'll give out one right now. The big one, Kansas State in Manhattan, Kansas. Should be a monster game between 2 big rivals. I'm taking Kansas on this one. I know Kansas lost in Kansas State the last time they played there, but prior to that, Kansas has absolutely owned this rivalry, specifically when they've been in Manhattan. I'm going to take Kansas Jayhawks on the money line. They're the better team. I understand the rivalry adds to the juice of this one, but overall, when it comes down to it, I think Kansas is going to get the win. So Kansas on the money line. Let's jump over to Outlier really quick. I'm kind of curious to see where the public money comes down on this game. Haven't looked at it yet. Let's go look at it, everybody. We're on Outlier. Well, again, one of the things I love about Outlier is I can see how the public's betting it. Gives me an indication whether this is a good bet or a bad bet. Right now, Kansas is the favorite on the money line. 72% of the tickets are on Kansas. 61% of the money. I like that. When it comes to the spread, though, Kansas State is getting the love when it comes to the money. So, if you guys wanted to go in any direction, I would say Kansas on the money line. I would recommend Kansas State cover by, let's say, plus 6.5. I think that's a good spot to take it. Again, Kansas on the money line, Kansas State plus 6.5. One thing I am getting from how the public is betting this game, the under is very attractive. The under is a very attractive play. These are 2 of the slower offenses in the league. The Kansas Jayhawks are 61st when it comes to total points. Kansas State is 100th when it comes to total points. When it comes to defense, they're a better group. They're better teams. Yeah, I think the under is a better play in this one. If I had to go in any direction on the total, Kansas and Kansas State, I would go under 147.5. I will put an asterisk up here and add that to our picks. That's Kansas State under 147.5. Another pick for you guys. When we hit 9,000 likes, another player prop bet. Oh, I owe you guys a player prop bet now. Let's just give that out now. We don't need to wait around. You guys know I love giving out picks. I do have one involving Steph Curry. I'm taking Steph Curry over 24.5 points tonight. Steph Curry over 24.5 points. When we hit 9,000 likes, Another player prop bet. We hit 10,000 likes. I'm going to give you my SHARPZ play of the day. That's my favorite bet of the day, regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet, regardless of the odds. It's my favorite bet of the day. We'll do that at 10,000 likes, everybody. Clippers money line, Kyle Klein, I like it. Kawhi Leonard over on assists. Have you been looking at my picks, Kyle Klein, over on SHARPZ? Because that is a bet that I like as well, Kyle Klein. Clippers on the money line. We haven't hit 9,000 likes yet, but I will give out this player prop bet because you brought it up. Kawhi Leonard over 2.5 assists. It's been a very good trend. And yes, I did put into some same game parlays. Clippers money line, Kawhi Leonard over 2.5 assists. I love when you guys feedback the bets that I've made. Shows me that you guys are doing your research, looking at my picks. Well done, Kyle Klein. Shout out to you. Stefan, Virginia minus 5.5. Be careful, be careful. Let's go look at that game really quick. Miami at Virginia, UVA. Okay, this is what has me nervous. This is why I say this. 80% of the money line tickets are right now on UVA. But 56% of the money is on Miami. 56% of the money is on Miami. So right now I'm a little bit nervous. I like UVA on the money line. I'll put that one up here on my big board. I do like Virginia on the money line. Much like Kansas, they've owned this rivalry, if you want to call it a rivalry, over the last few meetings, the last few years. So I do like Virginia on the money line, but I tend to believe Miami can cover this spread. I don't like the fact that the public is believing what I am and the money's coming down in the other direction. As always, I'll look for another spot to take this, but Miami at, let's say, plus 8.5, that's where I feel good about it. Miami plus 8.5. We're just giving out a ton of picks right now. When we hit 10,000 likes, our SHARPZ play of the day. Jorge, I appreciate you, buddy. Jorge loves UVA as a DC native. There you go. Stumpy Rules, need to get your help on the ponies, too. I will admit, outside of the major races of the year, I'm not a great horse betting expert. Why? Because there's only so many things I can know. I love watching sports. I love horse racing. I actually love going to the track. I go to Saratoga as often as I can. But that said, I'm not great when it comes to horse racing. Now, we do have people as a part of the Butt Fumble sports team who have kind of their sport where they're experts, where I am not. UFC, NASCAR, and horse racing. So Stumpy Rules, if you're looking for horse racing advice, we can go to our expert. But me personally, I wouldn't even take my own advice on horse racing. I'm a fan, but I'm not knowledgeable enough. And I hope you guys hear this. There's a lot of sincerity in what I say. If I don't know something, I'll tell you. I'll tell you I don't know. I'll tell you you should go elsewhere. Or I'll tell you there aren't good trends or points of data on something. Because I never want you guys to get the false impression that I know all. That's nonsense. I don't want you to get the false impression that you should put money down on something I don't know. That would be terrible of me. I'll never do that to you guys. Dude, Saratoga is fantastic. I've been to a number of tracks, though. I've been to 2 of the 3 legs of the Triple Crown. I went to the Belmont Stakes, and I've been to the Kentucky Derby. By the way, Keeneland in Kentucky is a great place to go for horse racing. I've also been out to Del Mar for horse racing when I worked for Jim Rome. Jim Rome owns a number of horses. He invited me out there once when I lived there to see his horse race. So a lot of reasons to love horse racing across the country. Meadowlands, Frank. By the way, if you guys don't know, horse racing is just a great day of entertainment. If you've never been to the track for horse racing, is it about the gambling? Sure. But really, it's just a great day. You're amongst a lot of fun fans who are just excited about it. There are about, anywhere from 9 to 12 races that go off in a day. It's just a wonderful way to spend an afternoon, a wonderful way to spend a weekend. So if you've never been to a horse race before, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Go with a buddy or a couple of buddies. Get yourself a few drinks. Hang out in the yard. Go to the front of the race. Go check it out and see the horses go past. It's just a great time. I honestly have to admit, I think it's one of my favorite things in all of sports fandom experience. Going to a horse racing, day is just awesome. It's just awesome. Jorge, you know it. I try to keep it real with you guys. because I know you're just like me. You're a sports fan who works hard for their money, and you're trying to just get a little bit of extra entertainment from what goes on in the sports world every day. That's why I come to you guys straight. I never want you guys thinking that I'm above you. I never want you guys thinking that I know so much that I'm infallible. I'm just like you. Here's the difference. I spend my day doing research to try to inform you guys as to the best bets while you guys are working hard at your jobs to earn that money. I will never, ever, ever disrespect the fact that you work hard for your money and you deserve someone who's looking out for you. Yeah, exactly. Normal guy. The only difference is I've worked in sports media almost my entire professional career, and therefore I just know a little bit more than the average fan. That's it. Kyle Klein, if you're not on Sharps, you're not too sharp. I have to have believed that, Kyle, because we give out our picks for free on the SHARPZ app, so I really like that. El Pinche, would I take Kawhi Leonard at 3.5 assists? El Pinche, there's a reason I gave it out at 2.5. That's what I would say. I would feel better about you putting it into a same-game parlay than lifting it up to 3.5. I'm a little bit nervous about the 3.5. Aiden, hope you're the reason I hit a lot of the time. Oh, hey, you're the reason I hit a lot of the time. Always have those great sleeper picks. Aiden, so great to hear it. By the way, big shout out to all of our loyal viewers. I see so many of you guys regularly show up. I see those handles and I go, man, I see Jorge all the time. I see Aiden all the time. I see Drew 7382 all the time. It's just wonderful to see some of these regular faces. I hope you guys get so much out of our show. I get so much joy out of doing it. I hope you guys get a lot of entertainment from watching it. If you guys ever want to join the show as a guest, I love talking to you guys live on the air. You guys are always welcome to come on. I think TikTok has a limit. You have to have 1,000 followers to join the show. But if you got 1,000, come on, join the show as a guest. I love talking to you guys. Makes the show go by really fast. I love trying to make this like a sports radio show in the non-NFL season. I know when it's fantasy football time, we just got to dive into fantasy football all the time. But if you guys ever want to join the show, chew the fat, spill the tea, and just talk some sports, you guys are always, always welcome. I love talking to you guys. And by the way, I split my time between New York and Boston. If you guys are ever in either city, hit me up. I love getting together with you guys, just talking sports in person. Never a bad time. Drew, anybody in the NBA I should be looking out for today? Looking out for in terms of players I really like. Donovan Mitchell, I really like his matchup today. LeBron James, buddy. LeBron James is a player I really like today. I owe you guys a player prop bet, and then our Sharps play of the day is going to come in 1 second. I already gave out LeBron James over 22.5 points. I would also take LeBron James over 29.5 points plus assists. I think LeBron James's matchup tonight is as favorable a matchup as he's had in literally like a month. Love LeBron James tonight over 29.5 points plus assists if you can get it. Kevin Miller, thank you for the kind words. Also, thanks for signing up on the SHARPZ app. You can now see all of my bets for free because you signed up on Sharps. You never miss a bet. And again, they're never behind a paywall. If you want every bet I make every single day for free, I don't charge you for them. You don't have to sign up and pay for some stupid app that charges you. All of my picks are free. Sharps wants my picks to be free. Every time I make a bet, it automatically aggregates to my profile and it shows up for free. I don't delete them. I don't hide them. I don't charge you for them. I want you guys to see them. It's all about transparency. So if you guys want to see every bet that I make every single day, just DM me on Instagram. You can see all of them for free. By the way, guys, it is time for our Sharps play of the day. That is our favorite bet of the day. Regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet, regardless of the odds, it's the bet that I have the highest confidence level in based on the trends and data that I've looked at all day long. Our favorite bet of the day, brought to you by the SHARPZ app, is going to be the Lakers on the money line. Now, the Lakers are a road favorite against the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, you gotta give up some juice to go get them. But again, I'm giving you some good same-game parlay opportunities. Take the Lakers on the money line and LeBron over 22.5 points. Take Lakers on the money line and maybe take the Clippers on the money line. You could put in some two-leg parlays and get you back closer to those even or plus odds that I know a lot of you guys are looking for. If you guys are watching over on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you throw in your question as well. More than happy to answer those. El Pinche has a question about Darius Garland. He's asking about points rebounds, and assists. Let's jump back over to the Outlier app. Again, Outlier is the sports betting research tool that we use every day. There is not a better research tool available in the world. If you guys want to become a sharp bettor or a smart bettor, I cannot think of a better app or website to use or tool to use every day to become one. You guys don't need me. You guys don't even need the people on other sports betting channels. You really just need Outlier. The difference for me giving this out is hopefully I can entertain you guys a little bit better than them. But also, I have access to this tool, so I can give away a lot of this information for free. But if you guys want to do this research on your own, I can give you a free 7-day trial for Outlier. This is a good week to use it too. Given we have the Super Bowl within that 7-day span, this might be the best day in a while, the best week in a while to get your free 7-day trial. So again, if you want a free 7-day trial for the Outlier app, great sports betting research tool, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports, that's the name of my company, Butt Fumble Sports. Just DM me on Instagram. Free 7-day trial coming your way. Okay. Darius Garland, points, rebounds, and assists. The under has a much better implied probability. You were asking about the over, so we're going to look at it from there. The over has cashed in 8 of the last 10 games. The problem is the last 2 games this has missed. Let's take a quick look at injuries tonight. Jared Allen's a game-time decision. Darius Garland's also a game-time decision, so this one might be made up for us. If we look at home games, very consistent. 5 straight home games he's gone over this total. 8 of his last 10 games he's gone over this total. And specifically against point guards, the Sacramento Kings are actually really bad against point guards. They're 17th in points allowed, 29th in rebounds allowed, 26th in assists allowed. I like this bet. Would I take it at 21.5? I'm not crazy about it. Where would I take it? Over 19.5. I think Darius Garland gets to 20 points, rebounds, and assists. I will put this one up on my big board. I'm also going to put up something else involving Darius Garland, so we're going to do a 2-for-1 here. I like Darius Garland over 19.5 points, plus rebounds, plus assists. I would also take Darius Garland over 4.5 assists. He's got a great matchup tonight against the Sacramento Kings. That's 2 plays I would make today. Good finds, good finds, good finds. Carter 22. I mentioned this yesterday. I have rules for how I bet. I don't chase bets. I don't do bets that I don't feel confident in. I really don't do bets unless I have good data and analytics behind it. I do not bet on quarters or halves. Just a personal rule that I have, because I don't feel like I can get enough data to give me enough of an advantage on the sports books or to drive my decision making towards those. So Carter 22, if you have a good source of data, if you have something you can rely on, go for it. But I don't bet halves and I don't bet quarters, whether it's teams or players. I just don't do it. I need data to really sink my teeth into it. I need something to give me that indication. It's just not for me. You might be different. I'm totally cool with that, but I give you guys an indication of what I do and how I approach things. I also have pretty strict rules about how I bet. I don't chase bets. There has to be good data behind it. I usually like to, just to pull the curtain back, let's go to Outlier for a second, and I'll show you with Darius Garland on assists. First of all, I like to know what the matchup is. Ranger! By the way, Ranger, thank you so much. I hope you're having a great day. Ranger just made my day with that. Ranger, are you back stateside? I hope you are. I hope you're safe. I hope you're having a wonderful day, Ranger. Ranger is protecting our country, and we are grateful for it. Ranger, I hope you're having a great Monday, buddy. If you're back in the States, let us know. Hopefully you're in the New York or Boston area so I can buy you a beer. Anyway, to give some reveal as to how I go about my bets every day, I go to Darius Garland. I love the matchup. Sacramento Kings 26th in the NBA in assists allowed to point guards. So they're really bad at it. That's my first indication. I do look at injuries. Okay, Darius Garland's questionable. Let's just act like he's not. Hopefully he plays tonight. But if there's a player that isn't playing, let's say Donovan Mitchell wasn't playing, you go and you look that up because maybe there's a good indication of how you want to do things. Now, Jared Allen. Let's see if Jared Allen, if he doesn't play, how does Darius Garland do? Not as great, but anyways. So, then I look at how that player has done over their last 5, 10, and 20 games. I need to see at least a 12 out of the last 20 games he's hit this total for me to like it. So he's hit it in 13 of the last 20. That checks out. How about in home games? 14 of the last 20. I like that. Then I like to look at the head-to-head matchup. Darius Garland has gone over 4.5 assists in 3 straight games against the Sacramento Kings, both at home and on the road. So you just get a sense that there are a lot of trends that point in this direction. If you wanted to buy it down to 3.5, it's minus 350. That's why I'm taking it at the original line where it's set at 4.5. But there's a little bit of a reveal. Look at the matchup. Look at who's injured or who's playing. Look at how that player has done in that kind of line over the last 20 games. We like to see that at least 12 of the last 20, 13 of the last 20. Look at how it is as a home-road split. Look at how he's done head-to-head against the opponent. If all the trends point in the same direction, that's what we call a good bet. That's why I'm taking Darius Garland over 4.5 assists. Jorge, first half for blowout opportunity games. Lakers Clippers, great example. See, Jorge, again, I'm super nervous about first half bets because I always feel like half bets are where we make the most assumptions. The reason I don't bet on quarters or I don't bet on a half is that's where we're assuming the most. There isn't good data on that. There's just a lot of assumption on that. So I tend to avoid that. Jorge, LAC versus Atlanta, a competitive game. I like the Clippers on the money line. Given the Clippers are in a back-to-back, I'm a little bit nervous about this one. I could see it being a closer game because of that, but I do like Clippers on the money line. Sean, what do you think about Chiefs money line? Looks like bookies are looking more favorably towards the 49ers. See, this is what scares me. I've mentioned this a couple times before. I even gave out my picks yesterday around the Super Bowl. 85% of the tickets being bet right now are on the Chiefs. And by the way, just so you know, about 90% of the money that's bet on the Super Bowl happens this week. Not last week, this week. I expect so much money to come down on the Chiefs. I don't like the Chiefs because of it. I would take the Chiefs to cover. In fact, this is actually a bet I put out on the SHARPZ app. I took Chiefs plus 7.5 and Isaiah Pacheco to score an anytime touchdown in a same game parlay. Got me to about a plus 110, plus 115 bet. That's a bet I really like. But Chiefs on the money line, man, I'm nervous about that. I don't feel good about it. Too many people across this great country are telling you the Chiefs are a money line favorite or a money line good bet. I don't like that. Vegas knows. Vegas usually makes pretty good money on people all following the public. So if I had to go in one direction, I would take the Chiefs plus 4.5. I would take the 49ers on the money line right now. Probably the pick I like the most is probably actually the under. I feel like under 50.5 is a very good bet. That's probably the one I would advocate the most. Jorge, Taylor Swift new album, Kelsey scoring or are they winning outright? Jorge, I'm not going to make any bets based on Taylor Swift, her winning a Grammy, her putting out a new album. First of all, I didn't know, this is a side note, I didn't know Beyonce had never won Album of the Year. Jay-Z is freaking right. How does Beyonce, how has she never won Album of the Year? Like, does the Grammys deserve to have a category for Album of the Year if Beyonce doesn't win Album of the Year in her entire musical career? Obviously, that's not why you guys come to Butt Fumble Sports, so I'll put that to the side. But I'm not making any bets based on Taylor Swift either being at the game, her lucky number being 13, her traveling from Tokyo. Bunch of bullshit. Bunch of nonsense. If we were placing bets on people's wags, it would be a much different world. I'm placing it based on trends, data, and analytics. Here's the problem. Every trend I've seen favors right now. There's only one trend I've seen that actually favors the 49ers. Every other trend I've seen favors the Kansas City Chiefs. Whether it's the moon, whether it's Patrick Mahomes as an underdog, whether it's Andy Reid coming off a bye week, whether it's teams that face the same opponent in Super Bowls. The team that won the first Super Bowl matchup has won the second Super Bowl matchup. Think the Giants against the Patriots. There's a good history of that. So just something to think about. The only thing I would note, though, is Kyle Shanahan, when he's been a favorite in the playoffs, he's 6-0. That was the only trend I've seen so far that actually favors the 49ers. When Kyle Shanahan, his team has been a favorite in the playoffs, his team is 6-0. Other than that, almost every trend I've seen favors the Kansas City Chiefs. So there's a little something for you. Me, Kansas money line, Virginia money line. Yes, sir. I placed that parlay myself. Crack stats. Teams get hot or cold easily in a quarter or half, not as much for a whole game. Exactly right, crack stats. Exactly right. That is exactly right. You see a team, perfect example. One player goes off in the first half for like three three-pointers, 4 3-pointers, and all of a sudden his team wins that first half. Is that telling you about the game in its entirety? No. That's why I don't bet halves and quarters. Feels like that's always a trap. Great call, crack stats. Do you place bets over minus 150? All the time. All the time. But Fumble Sports is team cashing tickets. I try to chase bets I think are going to win. They could be minus 300. Someone gave me shit yesterday because the Celtics were a minus 3,000. I don't care. I'll just put it into some parlays. I'll put it into a same game parlay. I don't get scared by odds. Some people, like, am I going to bet a big unit number on a minus 3,000 bet? Of course not. It doesn't make sense. But just because something doesn't have great odds doesn't mean there isn't a good bet that involves that pick. So sometimes people avoid odds. I think that's a mistake. Sometimes the best thing you can do is take like a minus 400 bet, combine it with a minus 200 bet, combine it with a minus 250 bet, and all of a sudden you're about even odds. So what I would say to all of you guys out there is don't be scared of odds. Chase bets that can win. Chase winning. Don't be afraid of odds. Odds are there to trap you. Be careful. Vegas is trying to set you up for the fall. Chase wins. Don't be afraid of odds. Stumpy Rules. I'm betting T Swift is 90%. Stumpy Rules. I love you, buddy. Elite Detail. I love Chiefs +9. Love Chiefs +9. Over 40.5. Interesting. I think it's going to be over 40.5. Because can I see it being a 2017 game? I can, actually, but I don't love it. I think it does get to over 40.5. Chiefs +9. Elite Detail. That's a perfect example. Chiefs +9, those are bad odds. You combine it with the over 40.5, that all of a sudden becomes a good bet. I like it, Elite Detail. Jorge, right? But Little Dirk won, but he deserved it. But Beyonce not getting it. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. By the way, I love Jay-Z's speech. I do have a couple thoughts on the Grammys. If you haven't heard the Fast Cars with Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs, watch it. Watch it. I love that song. Obviously, Luke Combs kills his version of it. The Grammys crushed it last night. By the way, the ladies crushed it last night. Last night was ladies' night at the Grammys. They crushed it. But that version of Fast Cars with Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs, that's a must-watch. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. Stephen Pock, minus 1,000 does almost nothing for the payout, though, and it can lose. Yeah, that's why you don't take it individually. You don't take a minus 1,000 bet on its own. I agree with you. Don't take a minus 1,000 bet just on the sheer fact that it can cash. Combine it with some other things. You don't need to go crazy. You don't need to make it a 5 or 6 leg parlay, but you make it a 2 or 3 leg parlay. I think that's a better way of handling it. Bethune-Cookman. Someone's asking me about Bethune-Cookman. You only get good sports betting advice when you're asking about Bethune-Cookman. Let's take a look at that right now. Is Bethune-Cookman a good bet tonight or not? Bethune-Cookman's playing Alabama A&M, and what would I say? Bethune-Cookman's a very good bet. Very good bet. I would take Bethune-Cookman both on the money line and on the spread. I would make that bet. Did you bet over Wright State yesterday? Yes, I did, actually. After we talked about it, I did take the over on it. You guys talked me into it. Stephen Pock, I totally get what you're saying. It's not worth it to you. It may not be worth it to others. I totally get it. By the way, I want you guys to be comfortable with your sports bets. I never want you guys to chase something for no reason. I want you guys having confidence in it. By the way, that could be based on the trends or data I give out. That could be based on something else you see. But when you place a bet, you should feel good about it. You should have reason to believe in that bet. So that's why I think it's so important for you guys to question things. Don't just take a bet because someone says it. Take it because you have confidence in it. By the way, Stumpy Rules, can you explain a round robin bet to a newbie? Easy. Okay, say there are 3 bets that I really like. I can do a round robin where, say, they're bet A, bet B, bet C. If I do a round robin, say with 2 bets for each round robin, a 2-leg round robin, that means bet A and B are placed, bet A and C are placed, and bet C and B and C are placed. So it's a way of taking 3 bets and you actually three picks you like, and it's actually a way of getting more picks out of them. So say, for example, say bet C doesn't cash. Bet C goes bust. You still win money on A and B coming together in your parlay. So it's a way of not putting all of your money, all of your chips on a perfect parlay. What it's saying is I can get one thing wrong, I can get two things wrong, but I can still make money on some things. So round robins are ways to take parlays and get a little bit more of an advantage. Now, if you're like me and your college basketball bets went perfect yesterday, then you're really in the money. But if you miss something, parlays usually are very hard to cash. So when you do a round robin, it's a way for you to get more money in there. Let's do another one. So say you have 4 picks that you like. A, B, C, and D. Say D doesn't cash. Well, if you do it in 2-leg parlay round robins, A and B cashes, you make money. A and C cashes, you make money. B and C cashes, you make money. All the bets that involve D, they lose. But at least you got something out of that research. Your parlays have a better chance of cashing. No issue, Stumpy Rules. OKC was a great call yesterday. We did the best we could. Hope you guys are doing well. Xander Simmons, any college basketball bets for today? We've given out a few so far. So I got to get going. I got a date tonight, so I got to go run off to this date. But let me review all of the bets we've given out so far, okay? You guys ready? Here we go. My SHARPZ play of the day is Lakers on the money line. SHARPZ play of the day, Lakers on the money line. My 4 NBA picks I've given out during the show are Nets money line, Clippers money line, Cavaliers money line, and the Mavericks on the money line. The NBA player prop bets I like tonight: Nick Claxton over 9.5 points, LeBron James over 22.5 points, LeBron James over 29.5 points plus assists, Donovan Mitchell over 24.5 points. You might want to put that into a same game parlay. Steph Curry over 24.5 points, Kawhi Leonard over 2.5 assists, Darius Garland over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and Darius Garland over 4.5 assists. I also took the Maple Leafs on the money line. As for college basketball, I took Kansas on the money line, Kansas and Kansas State under 147.5, Virginia on the money line, and Miami plus 8.5. Those are the bets I've given out. If you guys missed any of those bets, or if you want all of my bets every single day for free, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. I give away my picks for free. They're never behind a paywall. I never delete them. I don't charge you for them. Just DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me. I'll give you a link and a referral code for the SHARPZ app. You can see every bet that I make every single day for free. That's how I want it to be. I want you guys on team cashing tickets. I want you to win money, so I give away all of my picks for free. A lot of transparency. I am so grateful for you guys joining the show every day. You guys have no idea the kind of joy I get from talking sports with you every day. That's why I wake up early, do my research, and come loaded with picks every day. We are live Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Again, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, and on the weekends at 12 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. That way you never miss our show. You never miss our picks. And hopefully you get a lot of good entertainment out of the show every single day. What time will I see you guys tomorrow? 5 p.m. That's right, 5 p.m. Eastern, everybody. I hope you guys stay healthy. I hope you stay safe. I hope you have a wonderful night of watching sports. And I will see you across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick at 5 p.m. Eastern, everybody. Until then, have a wonderful night. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.